everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. This is Brittany Washington, and we are here for our perseverance workshop, how to keep your momentum. Of course, anybody can tune in if you're feeling a little bit of, a little bit down, or you're having a hard time just keeping up the momentum in whatever it is that you do. However, I want to also make sure my holiday Hunger Games people know that this is for you. This is for anybody, but definitely stay tuned if you are interested and you feeling a little bit of drag and a little bit of lack in momentum. We're going to talk about some perseverance today. So before we get started on how to keep up our perseverance and how to keep momentum, let's talk about what it is or what perseverance is just in general. So perseverance, we have it described as determining to keep going in the face of setbacks and challenges. So whatever it is that we're going through, all of us, we show perseverance in some form or fashion every single day. Another way that we have it described as doing something despite of its difficulty or delay in achieving the success, whatever that success is for us. If that success is just getting through the day, if you're having just one of those days and you're just kind of feeling down and you're just really pressing, that's perseverance. So perseverance doesn't have to be towards this huge goal. It can be, your goal can be just to get through today and to make it home. So don't downplay whatever it is your goal is. Don't downplay the success or the how big or how small whatever that goal is. You persevere, everybody perseveres, and we push through to get through whatever our end goal and whatever that might look like. So it's an inner drive that keeps you in the game when everything else says it's time to quit. I don't know about you, but definitely, especially during these holiday times when we have goals that we want to accomplish, we can feel as though we just want, to crawl up under our warm covers, especially now that it's getting cold, and just kind of turn the day off. How many of you wish we could just sometimes just turn the day off and start over? So just making sure that that inner drive is we're still pushing. We're listening to that inner voice and that drive just to keep going and resolving to put one foot after the other to get to that goal. So no matter how big or how small your progression is still progression, and we want to just continue to keep pressing towards the mark. All right, so next, now that we kind of established what the perseverance is, we're going to talk about a few ways how to keep that endurance, how to maintain your endurance, how to keep going, and even maybe how to reignite that endurance and that momentum, especially when we don't see the end, when we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. So um, reestablishing what our vision is. So that's a major thing. What is it that our goal is? And it's okay to sometimes have to reevaluate what that is. Like, for example, for me, I have a goal. Is we have a goal to, let's say, lose a few pounds, and we let's just put a number on it, losing 8 pounds in the span of 6 weeks, right? 5 to 6 weeks, and halfway through, you're like, oh, okay, I only lost 2 pounds, whatever that number is. So we want to make sure that we establish our clear vision and reevaluate if necessary. So let's say we're nowhere near whatever that goal is for those 6 weeks. It's okay to come in and reevaluate to keep pressing. It's important. It's honestly imperative to reevaluate because if you don't, then essentially what it can seem like is we're just setting ourselves up for failure. And that's in failure, honestly, guys, it's okay. Failure is more than okay. That's the only way we can live. One of the only ways we can live and we can learn. Of course, we can learn from other people's experiences, but for me, I know for a fact that I learn better by doing. So if I fail, it's easy for me to go back and kind of reevaluate and reassess the situation and see what exactly it is, where that error occurred, and how can I be better for the next time. So having a clear vision, um, it can be easier when you have a mental vision or even a tangible vision of where you're going. I like to have a mental note, but honestly, how many of you guys have a, like a vision board at the beginning of every year, or you write out your goals for the month? Having something that you can physically see is one of the best ways to make sure we can either gain momentum or reignite the momentum, and having those small benchmarks, if you will, along the way, because sometimes looking at the big success can seem overwhelming. So having a clear vision and having those smaller victories along the way, those smaller goals, is the best way to get to the big goal. If you want to achieve, you should be clear in your mind, then you find a way to get you from here to there. So it's just like, remember back in the day before, I don't know if you all remember, but back in the day before we had GPS and we had MapQuest, I don't know, do you guys remember MapQuest? Woo, I do. So when we're traveling from state to state or to one destination, from one destination to another, we had a clear, literally a map. Okay, this is where we start. This is halfway through. This is the end. So having that clear and having that literally the map in front of you made it so much easier than just looking at the line by line directions. So just having both is one of the best ways to kind of have that clear cut vision. Okay, next, handling setbacks, and like I kind of touched base on this already, but planning to fail, handling the setbacks, not being discouraged if you fall. It's easier said than done. Handling the setbacks. However, if you anticipate what it is you might, if you're able to anticipate where your problem areas are and where you know you might have difficulty, then that's even the better to plan your plan of attack and your strategies on how to maneuver through. So, for example, let's say on my weight loss goal, my weight loss um, journey, and I know that I have a terrible, terrible sweet tooth. If I have, I just have a terrible sweet tooth, and this is just speaking on experience, guys. I have a terrible sweet tooth. So for me, um, when it comes to getting to whatever goals that it is I have, I know, since I do know that that's one of the places where I fall and I fall often, I know for one, I can't have too many sweets in my house. All right, if you have a family and you have to have sweets in your house, what are other snacks that you can do that kind of will crave that sweet tooth, and but you won't go towards the cookies or the cakes or whatever it is your vice is. So having a plan to fall. So having a plan for those setbacks too, and it's okay. So here, finding out, okay, this didn't work. What's another way I can work around it? That's another way to kind of prepare for those setbacks and those, for lack of a better word, those failures, those falls. I'll say falls. It sounds a lot better. Plan for those falls, and how just to be able to kind of make your way through. And I always tell my clients and people that I train. You're going to have good days. You're going to have great days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have okay days, and that's okay because that's just a part of the journey. That's part of the perseverance. That's part of building and kind of reestablishing your momentum. Just figuring out what it is where you fall and how to maneuver around um, those falls so you can kind of jump over those for the next time. Next thing, how to keep your momentum, how to reignite your momentum. Find accountability buddies. Find you a network, a support network. Guys, I cannot emphasize how important that is. Make your goals public. Don't have your goals just for you and you alone. Chances are, oftentimes more than not, if you're working on building discipline within yourself, that is going to be something that is truly difficult to maintain the entire way through your journey. if you have you accountability buddies, even if they're not going through it with you, you have somebody or you have a group of people you can call. You can express your issues, your feelings to, and they are the ones that can help keep tabs on you, for lack of a better term, to make sure you're able to get to where your goal is. They have to care about your goal and care about you as much as you care about it, even more maybe, because they're going to be the ones to, even when you're not feeling motivated to work out, you can call them and they are going to, talk you through it, encourage you as best as they can to keep you going. So it's so important. You have to have a trusted confidant, a trusted group of people to share your feelings, and just even not necessarily just to push you to go, but to just listen. Sometimes, guys, when we're feeling discouraged, um, and we just don't want to continue for whatever that goal is. Having somebody to just kind of listen is sometimes more than enough. Having somebody that you can call on. So I would highly recommend, if you don't have anybody, or if you don't currently have anybody, or a community, or a confidant, whoever that might be, whether it just be a best friend, whether it be, a pastor, or whoever it is that's important to you, that can kind of help speak into who you are and push you and encourage you. um, I would highly recommend you look into finding that person. Um, Ask for help. Ask for help, and that goes into that supportive community, um, or even whoever it is. Ask for help. Don't be too big. Don't let your ego take over you, to where if you know you need the help, guys, ask for the help. Ask for, um, whether it's somebody you just want to talk to, or if it's somebody that's a little bit more versed in the topic than you. When it comes to, like, for example, a trainer, if you've tried over and over and over again to either lose weight, or to lose fat, to gain muscle, and you're just not getting anywhere, um, ask for help, even if it's professional. If you have a friend that's a trainer, whatever it is, so they can give you a little bit more perspective, a little bit more insight, and they can be the ones to keep you accountable. Let's say if you don't have anybody that's close to you that can help do that for you, it is more than okay. So that's something I would highly encourage. If you're having a hard time keeping pressing, utilize those resources. Utilize those resources. I'm sure you know somebody that knows somebody. So don't be too big. Don't be too embarrassed if you've fallen multiple times and you're just like, I don't want to do this again. I have this goal, but I just feel so, you know, discouraged about it. Don't let that stop you, guys. Find somebody, ask for help, find that support group, find a community that's going through the same things that you're going through, so you can push through together. That is one of the major things. Next thing that I have is be kind to yourself. Perseverance and continuing the momentum. I'm just going to set this down. And continuing to fight for either your health, fight for your goals. We still have a little bit left to the year. The year is not over. However, be kind to yourself. Um, Believe that you can do it. One of the toughest things, um, for us to really, because we can always be our own worst critics, right? We can be our worst enemies. So in order to keep momentum, in order to press, in order to get to the goals, we have to believe and have faith that we can really honestly get to those goals. I've dealt with a lot of people that they want the goal, but they don't truly believe that they can get to that goal. A lot of times because they've fallen so many times, or they're in a cycle of, you do really well in the gym, you start to eat right, you press, and you're consistent few weeks, maybe even a couple months, but then they have that one thing happen that throws them off course, and they can't ever quite seem to regain that consistency. So that is, and it's okay. It happens. The goal is to not stay there. Don't stay there. It's okay to fall off. It happens, but don't stay down. Um, so that's one of the things. And if it does happen, be nice to yourself. Talk nice to yourself. Give yourself words of affirmation. If you're a believer, read scriptures about confidence and faith and consistency and discipline and encouragement. So or find quotes or daily quotes that you can look to for a little bit for a boost in encouragement and confidence. Because a lot of times when you're not kind to yourself, it can automatically count you out. You will have a tendency to quit prematurely before you can really get to your goal if you don't truly believe in yourself. So that's honestly one of the biggest things. You can have accountability. You can have um, your support group. You can have a clear vision for yourself. You can plan it out, write it out, make it plain as day. But if you don't really believe in yourself to reignite it, you can have your why. You can really determine and know what that why is, whether it be health related. You want to keep up with your kids. You want to be able to live a long life, a long and healthy life. Whatever your why is, you can have that. But if you don't believe you can get there, then more oftentimes than not, if that doesn't change, you will not get there. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are right. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you cannot, you are right. So that's what it really boils down to, guys. Negativity wants you to feel sorry for yourself and doubt your abilities to succeed. So again, that's kind of just chiming in on what I was just talking about. The second worst offender to progress is your negative thoughts. The first offender um, to progress is in action. I'll read that again. The second worst offender to progress is negative thoughts or our negative thoughts. The first offender to progress is in action. Negative self-talk is a cancer to progress. So all of that, basically what I was just saying, summed up in one simple sentence. So just, that's where I'm ending. And of course, I'll recap on all of the things I talked about. But if you're not kind to yourself, if you don't give yourself positive self affirmations on who you are, on how powerful you are, on your ability to put one foot in front of the other. Progress, no matter how big or small, is progress. So if you're unable to do that, guys, that's something that we want to address first and then be able to make it through to whatever our goal is, to persevere and to push and to gain or regain the momentum. And understanding that struggles are a part of life. Everybody is going through something. Everybody has a time when they fall off. Everybody has a time when they don't feel as disciplined as they know that they could be, and that's okay, guys. But in order to persevere, in order to press towards whatever those goals are, we're going to have to understand that it's a process. All of this is a process, and you're going to be just fine, because as long as you understand what perseverance is, having that grit, having that endurance, having that laser focus, and being able to take the steps necessary to either gain or reignite that perseverance and that momentum. That's going to be what you need to do in order to see to that goal. So just recapping on what perseverance is doing something despite the difficulty or the delay in achieving that success. So no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you stumble, no matter how many times you get off course, perseverance is being able to jump back in it. You're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. So that's perseverance. Having a clear vision, making it tangible, putting it around your house, seeing it in your to-do list, writing out goals for the week, for the month, for the day, making it as clear as crystal. That's number two. Number three, being able to handle those setbacks when it comes to perseverance and regaining the momentum, handling the setbacks, planning to fail, reviewing and evaluating the errors that you've had previously. When you failed before, what was it that caused you to fail? So this is number three. What caused you to fail? Write it out and make sure that you try to navigate through it a little bit better this time because you already know what it is that causes you to kind of stumble, right? So that's number three on handling those setbacks. Cultivating a support group, having accountability buddies, that is number four. That's extremely important. One of the most important things because you're not going to be motivated all the time. You could be very, non-motivated right now at the moment. So if you find you a discipline buddy, an accountability buddy, somebody that you know is going to hold you accountable no matter what, somebody that you can talk to just to express your feelings, somebody that can talk to you about who you are, understanding so that they can remind you of your past accomplishments. That's a major thing, guys. What have you done in the past that you've overcome? And you can use that same mentality to do it again this time. Having people that know your history, having people that know you and what you're capable of and speak that into you. And so that's number four, having a community and accountability buddy. And then lastly, encouraging yourself. Understanding what's your why. I did mention that also previously. What is your why? And it's always good to have a why that is very deeply emotionally rooted. Whether again you have a history, let's say, of high blood pressure in your family, and you don't want to continue that cycle. Whether you want to be able to keep up with your kids and play a game of basketball, or play a game of tag without being too winded. Whether no matter what it is, no matter what it is, having that deep rooted why and not forgetting what that is, because sometimes we can get off course. And it's easy to forget. So being able to encourage yourself and be nice to yourself. That's one thing I've definitely struggled with, just being extremely transparent. We can be our worst enemy. So being kind to yourself, speaking nice to yourself, thinking nice about yourself. You don't even have to verbally say some negative things, but you're thinking it. And thinking it is a form of expression. You know what you're thinking about yourself. Other people might not. But you know. And so if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't encourage yourself, there's no way you can keep the momentum going to get to your goal. And so negativity, again, wants you to feel sorry about yourself and doubt your abilities. We are powerful. We are made and built to adapt. That's literally what our body is made to do. So whatever it is, our goals are, our body's going to do what it needs to do to get there. As long as our mind believes it. That's the biggest thing. So those are my 5 points today, talking about perseverance and how to keep and maintain or gain momentum. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to leave you with a quote. I love the word grit. That is a powerful, powerful word to me. I'm going to leave you with a couple of quotes. Um, One of the ones I actually just posted on social media. I'm not sure who um, I'm not sure who it's from, but it says, "Don't be afraid to start over. This time you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience." So again, you are if no matter how many times you start over, perseverance and grit and that endurance is to get back up and to do it again. Seeing where you fell, seeing where the failure was, and to navigate around it. Another one, grit is an extra something that separates the most successful people from the rest. It's the passion, the perseverance, and stamina that we must channel in order to stick with our dreams until they become a reality. That's from Travis Bradberry. And one more for you guys. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Thomas Edison. I'll read that again. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they are to the success when they gave up. So you are close to your breakthrough, guys. You're close to, your goals. Even if you don't believe it, even if you don't see the end in sight, keep pressing. Put one foot after the other, understanding that it's a part of the process. Persevere. Keep pressing towards the mark, press towards your goals. Get there, even if you have to get there kicking and screaming. It is a part of it, guys. And when you get there, the struggle and the challenges will just make that success that much sweeter. So thank you for tuning in with me on perseverance and how to keep your momentum. I hope you all received something from this. Again, my name is Brittany Washington. If you have any questions, please email me, brittany.washington@coxautoinc.com, and I will see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.